There is no denying it. We are deep in bear market territory. Most cryptos have lost at least half of their value or even more in just a few months. So the question is, are we entering Max Payne territory?
You think you could take my money? You know who you're dealing with? Huh? Do you? Do you?
Are we getting close to the bottom? We'll find out in about 10 minutes because it's time for chicocrypto. Yeah, the markets are getting hit hard. The total capitalization of crypto at its peak was just over $3 trillion. As of yesterday, that sunk to just above $1.6 trillion. $1.4 trillion have been wiped clean from the crypto markets. Now, of course, the leader of this downturn is the king asset Bitcoin. Bitcoin has fallen by over 50% from its high set in early November of over 69K. As of yesterday, BTC dipped and fell to the 33K level before bouncing. Now, no one could have predicted BTC would be in the 30K range months ago. Everyone thought we would still be bullish on our way to higher highs, not to these lower lows. So the question is, how low will we go? What price will be the Bitcoin bottom? Well, let's begin with bottom case number 1, the 30K Bitcoin bottom, of which many people believe will be where Bitcoin stops its falling. Now, why is this such an important range to so many people? Well, pulling out the price chart since January of 2021, we can see the last time Bitcoin got above 60K and then subsequently crashed, the bottom was at 30K and Bitcoin bounced hard off that level, which led us into our November peak of 69K. Now, we can see with the last time we got above 60K, the daily close peak happened on the 13th of April, and the bottom of which was just below 30K happened on July 20th. This was a bear cycle of just over 3 months, aka 99 days to be exact. Now, the daily close peak for this most recent try above 60K happened on November 8th. As of today, we are 79 days since that peak. Is it possible over the next 20 days we slowly bleed down to the 30K range? Although back in July wasn't the only time a 30K bounce happened. We can also see this happened at the beginning of 2021 too. January 8th, BTC cracked 40K for the very first time, but a quick correction down to 30K by the end of January, but with another big bounce off of 30K. So twice in a year, BTC had seen 30K, and each time that was hit, it was followed by a big relief bounce. Is this going to happen once again? Well, many people think so, like I said. I mean, if you search by Bitcoin 30K bottom on Twitter, you can see the amount of technical analyzers charting and predicting that this will be where the pain ends. 30K bottom analyzed with lines, 30K bottom analyzed with weekly RSI fractals. Shoot, even a 30K bottom scenario analyzed with a Wyckoff distribution. A majority think 30K is where it ends, but what if it falls through and this historical support is broken? Well, it's most likely lights out. We are going into a longer than expected bear market. Now, I'm sure many of you don't remember our last bull and bear cycle, the end of 2017. Bitcoin peaked at about 20K, and over the next year deflated and deflated down. It was a full year of pain, which was exacerbated by the series of relief rallies, 4 of them to be exact, until the market went sideways for 3 months, and then finally the big dump at the end of 2018. So is something similar going to happen this time around? Are we going to deflate down until November of this year with relief rallies to keep us all on the hook? And will Bitcoin go down by a similar amount? Well, the peak was about 20K set in December. From that high, it went down to about 3,200 a year later. This was a loss of basically 84%. For this cycle, BTC went to its high of about 69,000. If we apply a decrease of 84%, that would basically give us a number of $11,000. Whoa, Bitcoin crashing back down to 11 grand in a year? Is that freaking possible? Well, this has happened before in Bitcoin's history, the cycle before 2017. Bitcoin rallied in 2013 and hit its peak once again at the end of the year. This was about $1,200. Over the next year, BTC deflated down, once again with some relief rallies sprinkled in. By January 2015, just over a year later, Bitcoin hit its bottom of about $200. From $1,200 down to $200 was a loss of just over 83%. History is telling us that it's possible to hit 11K if 69K was the Bitcoin top for this cycle. Although history also tells us that won't happen. Bitcoin has never gone below a cycle's peak the cycle after. Remember, about 1200 was the peak in 2013. The next cycle's bottom wasn't near 1200, but was 3200 in 2018. What about the cycle before this? Well, BTC hit a peak of nearly $30 in June of 2011. The bottom from the next cycle, about $200 in January of 2015. BTC never goes below a previous cycle's peak. 2017's peak was 20K. History is telling us this cycle we won't go below that. Going below 20K is not likely according to that historical data, but is it possible we touch 20K? Well, if we do eventually break 30K support, 20K is definitely in play, as that's the previous cycle's all-time high, and throughout this cycle it provided a support area. A crash down to this level would be a drop of 70% from the all-time high. Now, the reason this level could be likely is regarding the Bitcoin miners. Even at 20K Bitcoin and with the current difficulty and hash rate, the miners would still be profitable at 20K BTC. But if it falls below that, they become unprofitable. This fact and reason will create a big resistance at that level if it comes down to it. But if this happens, 20K BTC and a 70% crash, what would happen to some of the other assets like Ethereum and altcoins? Well, the crash with these assets would be magnified. I would expect Ethereum to crash by 80 to 85%, while altcoins, the majority of them, would crash by 90 to 99%. An 80% crash for Ethereum would put it at about $1,000. 85% would be about $750. Altcoins down by 90 to 99% would mean things like Cardano at 20 cents, Polkadot and Chainlink at $6, Solana below $20, and smaller caps getting wrecked even worse. This could be the coming opportunity of a lifetime, or that opportunity has already happened, because there is the last case. 33K was the Bitcoin bottom. Bitcoin yesterday bounced off of 33K pretty significantly and pumped all the way back up to 36K. So is that the bottom, or is this just another pump fake out, a dead kitty bounce? Well, like I showed in yesterday's video about the everything bubble, there is some very interesting things going on this week. We have the Fed's FOMC meeting where they could surprise the markets with increased tapering, which could speed up the timeline to interest rate hikes. If the global markets are feeling that this is going to be the case, and it is the case, we could definitely see another drop before this meeting. And if it's announced, yeah, we will drop once again. But it's not only that, some of the big tech giants are set to announce and report their earnings this week. This includes Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and Intel. If they fall below expectations like Netflix did last week, once again, we could see another drop. And then finally, in the global climate, there is a chance of rising global tensions. Russia is threatening to invade Ukraine, and if they do, the global markets will sink, and that could be the cause and ignition for the next world war.
In the event that there is a renewed Russian incursion, Russian forces going into Ukraine, there is going to be a swift, a severe and united response.
So my friends, as much as we wish Bitcoin was uncorrelated from the traditional financial world, it isn't. It has been ingrained with it as Wall Street has sunk their teeth into the crypto markets. If we are going into an everything bubble pop type situation, Bitcoin and crypto assets won't be immune. Bitcoin would sink, and sink even below 20K, possibly even below 10K. But like a phoenix, it would rise from the ashes, finally fulfilling its destiny as a global reserve currency. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.